Hello everyone, welcome to Yura's Corner on the SWI channel. Here we make videos about faith, about pregnancy, motherhood, and everything that concerns the wholesome woman. So if you're coming across our video for the first time, you are in the right place. We all know that for a pregnant woman, once you become pregnant, there are lots of circulating informations out there, some that are true and some that are not true. So today we are going to be looking at some myths, right, in pregnancy, and I'll be confirming whether or not they are true or they are just myths. So if you see me looking out here, I have some myths here on my phone, on this phone, that I'll be reading out some, myths or assumptions about pregnancy, and I'll be confirming whether or not they are true. Now, if you're wondering how I know the correct answer, firstly, I have done some research, and then of course I've been pregnant before, and thirdly, I have a background in human physiology. Yes, so all this combined gives me, the information to know the right answers to these myths. So please stay tuned and let's start. So the first myth I have here says you can't exercise in pregnancy. This is actually not true. You can exercise in pregnancy. Now, the difference is, the special thing is, first of all, before you got pregnant, were you exercising? So if you were exercising already, perfect, beautiful, because it's very important for you to, move your body and be very active when you're pregnant. So that's good. And then also when you're preparing yourself for delivery, it would also help you if you are very active. So there are special cases that you would be advised, especially if you're having like a high risk pregnancy, you may be advised by your doctor to, have a bed rest and the rest of it. So if that is your situation, please, you are not required to exercise. But if you have no, you have no challenge whatsoever and you have a smooth pregnancy, please go ahead and move your body. And the second one I have here says eating spicy food indicates labor, induces labor. Oh, eating spicy food, no. There is actually no scientific proof that eating spicy food induces labor. So this is a myth, definitely. Now, the third one here says heartburn means your baby will have lots of hair. Wow, no. Not at all. This is an absolute myth. There is really no proof or indication that heartburn is definitely not an indication that your baby is going to have lots of hair. So this is a myth. The next one here says pregnant women should eat for two. I'm very sure that you have heard this one, if you're pregnant. So there's this general assumption that just because you're pregnant, you are supposed to be eating for yourself and your baby. That's like eating for two. That is actually a myth, because you are not necessarily supposed to eat for two just because you are pregnant. What you should make sure you do is that you are eating healthy. Okay, so you need a lot more good nutrients to nourish your baby's body, but you don't necessarily have to double your portion of what you would normally eat when you were not pregnant. So this is actually a myth. Yes. The next one says lifting your arms over your head can cause the umbilical cord to strangle the baby. Oh my God, this is a myth with no scientific proof whatsoever. Where did they even get all these things from? So the next one here says the shape of the belly predicts the gender of the baby. Yeah, I know that. Okay, for those of us from Africa in Nigeria, we know that there are certain things, you can just travel home and there's a way your auntie or your grandma will look at you and say, the way your tummy is well rounded, or is shifted to the right or shifted to the left, and they're able to predict the baby. But all those things are just mere predictions. There is actually no scientific proof to accurately know the gender of your baby from the shape of your belly. So that is an absolute myth. The next one here says that eating pineapple induces labor. Now this is interesting. Yes, there have been a couple of assumptions, especially because pineapple has an enzyme called bromelain, and it's been assumed or postulated that that's an enzyme that helps to induce labor, or kind of triggers some mechanisms that causes the uterus to contract and all that. But the truth is that there is no adequate research to back this assumption. So right now we're going to categorize this particular statement under myth, right? But now, personally, now I've said the science, so now I'm telling you personally, whenever I hear this type of assumption, I don't want to wait until I don't want to be the one that used to do experiments. So if they are saying that there is a tendency that eating pineapple can induce labor, that means just in case in 20-30 years from now they scientifically prove it, I don't want to be the experiment. So ideally in the first trimester thereabout, I would absolutely stay away from pineapple. That's what I would do. So you think about it and make your decision. So but then, okay, at the end of your pregnancy or towards the end of your third trimester, yeah, you can indulge and see how it goes. Yeah, let me know how it goes. So the next one here says you can't travel during pregnancy. This is actually not true. Yes, I know. There are certain times that you are required not to travel for your safety and for the safety of your baby. But these are, special conditions, especially if your doctor, recommends that you do not take a trip because of, the delicacy of your pregnancy. Otherwise, if you're having a normal pregnancy, you are free to travel, but please make sure that you inform your doctor before you take any trip, right? And of course, yeah, I think that's just it about that. So the next one here says that pregnant women should avoid caffeine entirely. Generally, in pregnancy, what they normally say is what you've been taking before, especially if it's not so unsafe. Moderation is key. So caffeine is not outrightly bad for a pregnant woman, but then you should take it in moderation. Yeah, generally in Nigeria we say too much of everything is bad. So that's what I can say about that. Now the next one here says sex during pregnancy harms the baby. No, sex during pregnancy does not harm the baby. If you have a normal pregnancy, please enjoy yourself. And you also know that during pregnancy, because of the hormones and all the physiological changes around your reproductive area, they say that women have a higher tendency of having better orgasms when they're pregnant. So you don't want to miss out on that goodie. So please, there is nothing like baby being harmed, because except in exceptional cases, please. So these situations are not really applicable to pregnancy in general, but there are certain people that, because of the different challenges that they may be having in their pregnancy, doctor will recommend that they abstain for the duration of the pregnancy. There are some extreme cases that you may have to abstain from sex when you're pregnant. But for a normal pregnancy without any special need or any special challenge, you are free to have as much sex as you want to have. So the next one here says pregnant women should eat a lot of protein for a boy and sweet for a girl. Where do they get all these things from? That has no basis. It has no basis at all. You don't have to eat excess protein because you are having there's no special diet for, okay, this is the strict diet that you have to follow because you're having a boy, and then you have to eat this type of meals when you're having a girl. So there's nothing like that. That's a myth. So yeah, that's a myth. Then the next one here says pregnant women lose brain cells when pregnant. Well, I can quite understand where this particular one is coming from, and that's because there's this thing called pregnancy brain, right? Where we experience, I experienced it. Some people have this intermittent challenge, remembering things. You can easily, you may want to enter into a room to pick something, and then you're at the door of the room and you're thinking, why was I coming to this room? So these things happen. But yeah, that's just something that happens. But there is no scientific proof that we lose part of our brain or something when pregnant. So there is definitely nothing like reduction of our brain cells because of pregnancy. So please, that's an absolute myth. However, I can quite understand where this might have been coming from. So that's what I have to say about that. Then the next one here says pregnancy makes your teeth fall out. Oh my god, I can totally relate to this, right? Now I've done a bit of research on this, and it's actually a myth, but I have seen that dental care is very important when you're pregnant. Now, personally, my experience was that I think I felt like my oral cavity expanded a little bit when I was pregnant. I know that when I went to see my dentist, after I had given birth, yes, and I was complaining, about the things I've observed in my mouth with my teeth, that was different, that happened during my pregnancy. I did ask my dentist, and he confirmed there was nothing like that, but I felt like he was not as knowledgeable about this particular thing as I needed him to be, because I still had questions about this, how true this is, because I know how I felt. I felt like something happened to me. But upon doing a little bit of further research, recently I have found that dental care is very, very important in pregnancy. First of all, your mouth is like an access, and then if you have any tooth issues when you're pregnant, or there's a cavity, anything that happens to your mouth could lead to some infection or whatever that can pass through, that can from there just have an effect on your pregnancy, on your system. So please, if you're pregnant, make sure that you visit your dentist. Make sure that you are optimum in your dental care. Very, very important. Yeah, finally, so the last one here says all herbal teas are unsafe during pregnancy. Now I know that, yeah, and we ideally would assume that, okay, anything herbal tea, stay away from them, they're unsafe. Now this is not completely true, because there are some teas that you can actually still take when you're pregnant. But like I said, I don't like to be the experiment, so I don't even want to, I wouldn't want to try to see whether or not it's actually safe. So my default reaction, default setting to this type of situation will be to totally avoid stories that touch, right? That's where we'll stop here. Do you still have some assumptions? Are there some things that you have heard about pregnancy that I did not cover here? Please let us know in the comment section. Let's discuss further to know whether or not these things are true or not. I will see you in the next video. Thank you and bye.